Seriously, Lost Ark Dungeons.
Big demon noises!
Are incredible. Hello there, everyone. Welcome, one and all, to Lost Ark, and more specifically, Lost Ark's Dungeons. You know the drill in an MMO. You grab your party, you head in, you fight through the obstacles, the bosses, you grab your loot, and you go on your merry way. It's a standard. Well, Lost Ark has no trinity, which means no tank, no healer, no DPS roles defined. It's all of you piling in and doing your best, and it feels fantastic. There are some more supporty classes, but again, nothing defined. Now, if you don't know what Lost Ark is, it's a MMORPG, isometric, top-down, with the most gorgeous world and effects and the most wonderful gameplay systems that just scratch all those deep MMO-y itches. It was in development for what felt like forever, released in South Korea in 2019, and finally, we are getting it early next year. Now, currently it is in beta for the next, well, less than a week or so, and you have to buy into it. However, the actual game will be free, but I am having a lot of fun experiencing it once more. And yes, I say once more because this game was so good, I went through the billion hoops in order to actually play it on the Korean servers, and it was just wonderful then too, even if I had no idea what the hell was happening. Now, I do have an idea what the hell is happening, it's just better and better and better, but that's enough about the game as a whole, though trust me, if you like MMORPGs, like MMOs, if you have an itch for a new one, a good one, something you can really sink hours into and have that proper MMORPG experience, trust me, this is the best prospect in years by a long way. But for now, as I say, as the focus of this video is the dungeons! So they are for man and, well, for man. Look, for man and format, like, incredibly entertaining wordplay. Anyway, the very first proper one, because there's smaller scale ones that you go through as you progress through the story. There's some single player scenarios, but the first proper one that you do is already wonderful. You descend below a lake, and you are now in like this lost underwater city, fighting your way through all sorts of nasties and demons as you traverse the terrain. And yes, there is terrain traversal. Granted, it comes in the form of press button to jump across ledge, but even in that kind of simplistic way, it just adds a little bit more, you know, texture to the whole thing. Just having to balance across beams or zip wire down ropes to get to the next section, or dodge traps, weave through like big spike pits that come up and down, or pillars that crush, and time it so you don't get your character killed as you walk down a corridor. It just adds this deep sense of actual, you know, exploration, or this sense that it's not just a linear path for you to follow filled with bad guys to murderize. It really gives this, well, sense of adventure, which I think is wonderful. The actual boss fights themselves, well, they start to get more and more complex as you go along. Big old castle demon dude is just wonderful. You fight him along the parapets, dodging flame breath after flame breath, moving round, dealing with the floor as he claws at you from the side, avoiding the zones of death as you dodge back and forth, and it's really spot on. And the point is, this is a leveling dungeon, and you have to do stuff that normally is reserved for like the most high-tier complex raiding in other MMOs. Now, don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy XIV and WoW has, in my opinion, the best endgame of currently released MMORPGs. I think it has the best rating of currently released MMORPGs, and it's not really close. Their mechanics are interesting and engaging and fun. Lost Ark, I firmly believe, will immediately join them and make it a trio head and shoulders above every other MMORPG. It's just so much fun, because of how the combat is as well, how action and exhilarating and pretty it is to look at, but satisfying it is to learn and master. There's a billion builds you can do with all of the classes, and there will be a lot of classes as the launch months roll by, but even like 15 to begin with, and you just really feel so engaged. And that's the important thing, is isn't it? It's so easy to make a dungeon, a raid, boring, to just make it what we're used to, but in these, you want to know what happens next. You want to know what's around the next corner. You want to know what little quirky gimmick you're going to have to navigate. On repeat clears, maybe once you start entering the hard mode difficulties, you might get a little bit tired of press G to leap across ledge, watch animation play out, okay, continue. But the point is, that's still nice that it's there, especially your first time. And honestly, stuff like navigating a world of traps as you speed down is also fun, knowing that if you fuck up, you're just going to get killed and have to go through the res process is really, really nice as well. And look, I realize it's nothing earth-shatteringly, mind-blowingly revolutionary. Okay, traps you have to run around. Okay, little terrain challenges that you have to press buttons around. Alright, but there is a difference, a big difference between Lost Ark and nearly every other MMORPG I've ever played. And it's...
This town isn't big enough for 2 supervillains.
Oh, you're a villain, all right. Just not a super one.
Yeah? What's the difference?
Presentation!
Seriously, this game is slick, it is polished, it is diamond shining, and it is smooth. It just works. It is exhilarating, it is fun, it is fast-paced, it is furious, and every little moment of every dungeon that I have done so far, and you really go through the range, you know, like demon ruins under the sea, to dragon demon chase through a castle, to full-on mech battles in a tech facility, and so much more. But there really is some serious variety here, but the point is, going through them for the first time is a wonderful, fun exploratory adventure. Going through them multiple times on harder difficulties is a really fun challenge that really tests your character and never feels boring because it is so active, so mobile. It's not sit there and spam your rotation, heal the tank gets the aggro, okay, we've done this a million times before. It really is a group of you fighting as one but together, you know, looking after yourself and looking after each other. It really is this individual, everyone needs to know the fight, dodge the things, be a part of this. It's not so defined roles per se. There are some individual mechanics, like picking up a shield to light beam a dude as he's trying to regenerate by a coffin, but you know, that stuff just adds flavor to the fights even more. There just is a lot going on here, and even the cutscenes that you get when you first finish some dungeons.
Just a delay.
Are truly wonderful too. Again, I cannot speak for how they will feel after 10, 100 or more clears as you go through Endgame and grind and, you know, do the MMO playbook, but I can tell you that your initial experiences as you level, as you start to get gear at Endgame, as you first discover these places, is truly going to be one of the most enjoyable MMO experiences you will ever have. I have played I mean, nearly every single Western MMO that's ever released. I must have played about, like, 50, probably more. Like, I really love the genre. I really love MMOs. I cannot get enough of them. I've never stopped looking for that next big MMO. But nothing's really kind of given me the truly longevity and satisfaction that WoW did back in the day. I've since very much dropped off it, especially with everything awful that's happened recently. Final Fantasy XIV came close, and admittedly RuneScape did, but I have played them all. I seriously have, from the obscure to the ones that got fairly popular, and I can honestly tell you from the wealth of that experience that Lost Ark is special. It feels different, and most importantly of all, it feels fun. And that's just it, isn't it? That's the important thing. That's the cool thing. And it is that as well. It's so cool. Like, at a certain point, I have to disengage as someone talking to you about the dungeons and making a video and just tell you, as a friend, hey man, this MMO's fucking cool. you should play it, because you totally should. Given that it's free as well when it does come out, there's no reason not to check it out if you are a fan of this genre. And I will say, for those Monster Hunters out there, there's definitely Monster Hunter vibes in how a lot of the fights are done and how the action and the pace to the combat does feel. But yes, this was just my little gushing, spiel about the dungeons in Lost Ark. A very surface level look, I grant you, but trust me, the mechanical satisfaction and depth is there, the spectacle is there, the replayability, I believe, is there, and most importantly of all, the fun is there, and I think we're all going to have a lot of time spending a lot of fun other way around in this game come early next year. In any case, let me know what you all think. Like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more, and I will see you all next time. Please consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below. A goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.